Welcome to a new installment of Collections Corner. I'm Joe Stoltz, Library Director for the American Revolution Institute at the Society of the Cincinnati. Today we are looking at some items from our Art of War collection. Not art about war like painting, but the theory and practice of armed conflict. Specifically, two books, Essai général de Tactique by Jacques-Antoine de Guibert and Projet de Ordre Francois en Tactique by Francois-Jean de Mesnil-Durand. To assist me, I also have these 18th century British Army training aids used to learn military formations and maneuvers. Military technology was largely stable throughout the 18th century. What went through profound changes was military tactics, as soldiers around Europe and the Americas adapted to the regular employment of reliable firearms. Nowhere were these debates louder than in France, suffering a string of defeats throughout the century, but at the same time the cradle of intellectual debate during the Enlightenment. Paris was the epicenter for arguments about how to win wars. Some thinkers, like Mesnil-Durand, argued that firearms were a fad to be ignored. France kept losing because officers prohibited their soldiers from closing with the enemy and using the bayonet. France was the country of a proud Gallic tradition, the land of dashing medieval knights. Soldiers should be arrayed in close compact columns like what had been used throughout most of human history. Then they could rapidly close with their opponent, force them to flee, and have the battle over so quickly there would still be time for a good meal. Mesnil-Durand argued for a tightly controlled doctrine that would win battles like clockwork. Guibert had a very different view. For Guibert, firearms could not be wished away. They were there to stay and would probably only become more effective as time went on. What the French needed was a system of tactics, a playbook, that allowed their commanders a variety of options to deal with myriad battlefield problems that a commander was likely to face. Columns were important, argued Guibert, only because they facilitated rapid maneuver, and if firepower in line could be combined with maneuver in column, très fantastique. In Guibert's system, one unit would operate in line to fix the enemy, while the other would use column to rapidly enfilade or outmaneuver the enemy, forcing them out of their position or risking their destruction. It wasn't long before military commanders started to realize that Guibert's systems had implications far above the battalion level. The same ideas could be applied to whole armies, and thus the corps system, made famous by Napoleon Bonaparte in the 19th century, was born, all from books that were written prior to the American Revolution. To learn more about the 18th century art of war and about our collections, visit our website, AmericanRevolutionInstitute.org.